Hi and welcome to OTC. I'm your host, Buddy1927. Today we are going to definitely be finishing up the crew wrap up. We're going to start where we left off in episode 19. We're going to go ahead and talk about the bonuses and penalties of the crews. Okay, in this section we're going to be talking about bonuses and penalties. The game mechanics includes a system of bonuses and penalties that have a variable effect upon the training level of the major qualifications and that of any acquired skill or perk. Bonuses and penalty also affects the ability, the effectiveness, and the performance of some of these skills and perks, and the amount of experience in each battle that is applied to increasing the skill or perk's training level. Bonuses and penalties may change at any time during the battle depending upon the battle situation, the equipment installed on the vehicle, the consumable aboard, and the type of acquired skill or perks of any of the crew, the training level of each of the crew members, and or a combination of all the factors. At the start of each battle, these applicable bonuses and penalties have an impact on the training level of each of the crew members in his major qualifications, and that in each of his acquired skill or perk. The cumulative effect of these bonuses and penalties result in an overall for the vehicle in which includes bonuses additions and penalties reduction used by the game mechanics to calculate your vehicle's performance in the battle. The calculations are dynamic and changes as bonuses and penalties change throughout the battle. At the conclusion of a battle, the new effects of all the bonuses and penalties applied during the game will have an effectiveness upon the amount of experience earned in the battle by the vehicle and by each of the crew members. Okay, here are some bonuses that you get from your skills and perks. The commander's mentor skill, it gives you a bonus. The commander's jack of all trade skill gives you a bonus. The brothers in arms is a perk that also gives you a bonus. And we went over these, and if you need to, you can go back and review these under the OTC skills and perks section. Now, if you equip the improved ventilation on your tank, you do get a flat 5% additional to the major qualifications and any skills that will benefit from this. Now, none of the perks will get an increase of 5% on this because it does not work on perks. So basically, if you have a crew that's at 100%, he gets 5 additional percent added to his major qualifications, so he's now at 105%. For as long as the improved ventilation is equipped on the tank that he is in. Now, there's some premium foods that will give you additional 10% to your major qualifications and some of your skills. It will not give you a 10% bonus on your perks. Now, these foods are divided by nations. So if you're on a Russian tank, you get extra combat rations. If you're on an American tank, you get a case of Coca-Cola. If you're on a German tank, you get chocolate. If you're on an English tank, you get pudding and tea. If you're on a French tank, you get strong coffee. If you're on a Chinese tank, you get improved combat rations. And the one I don't have here is if you're on a Japanese tank, you get sushi. Next consumable we're talking about is also a premium. It's the large first aid kit. What it does, it gives you a 15% reduction of a chance of your crew members suffering any injury from potential hits. Basically, is you have 15% less chance of being injured while the large first aid kit is still active. Now, the other benefit from the large first aid kit is if you have several crew members that are injured or killed, it will heal them all at once. But once you use this consumable, it is gone. It's a one-time consumable. Now, the next bonus we're going to be talking about is the daily double bonus. Basically, what this is the first time you play your tank, you get ×2 experience on the first victory. So if you lose, you don't get ×2. That you don't get that bonus until you receive your first victory. Now, from time to time, Wargaming does ×3 and also ×5 on those daily bonuses, and from time to time, they'll have it running all day long. It only applies to your victories. It does not apply to any of your defeats. Now, the advantage of this is if you have a heavy tank and you have a premium heavy tank in that same line, run your heavy tank, get your daily double done, knocked out, then take that crew off that regular tank and put in your premium tank and run that tank until you get your ×2 knocked out again. They have actually received 4 or 6 or 10 times that bonus. So that's one of the advantages of having a premium tank in the same line of the tank that you're running with. Okay, next we're talking about accelerated crew training. And this is somewhat confusing. It's a lot of people don't understand it, but I'm going to try to explain it to my best ability. This appears above your crew members once you're in a premium tank, or once your tank has reached elite status. And for your tank to reach elite status, it must have researched everything on that tank and researched the next tank in the line. And once you've done that, it goes up to elite status. When you go to the garage, right above the crew members, you'll see a accelerated crew training with a little box next to it. And what this does is basically, when you have it checked off, all the experience you earned in your next battle goes straight to the crew. None of it goes to the tank. If it's unchecked, the crew's received the same amount of training just like it has been, and the rest of the research credits actually go to the tank. Now, if you have the accelerated crew checked off, you'll see off to your right there's a little icon that will appear on next to the crew member that has the lowest training level. What will happen is he will get a double portion. Basically what happens is he'll receive more experience than the rest of the crews, and the reason is he's at the lowest of the training level. So if he's not at the same training level as everybody else, he will receive double of the experience to help accelerate him into the same level that all the other crew members are. So I hope this explains accelerated crew training. Okay, in the next couple sections we're going to be talking about the penalties that impact the experience and crew training levels. If a crew member is not compliant to the operation of a tank that he is placed in, or if a crew member gets injured during a battle, then there is a penalty for the training level of his major qualifications and all the skills and perks that will affect the vehicle's performance. There is also a penalty that may apply to the amount of experience the crew member earns towards increasing the training level of that particular battle. Penalties are always applied before bonuses in the game mechanic calculations. Next, we're going to be talking about the injury or death penalty, and there's some confusion in this. I've heard clan members and non-clan members actually tell me if your crew member is dead or injured, he receives no training from that battle, and they're wrong. I'm going to explain to you. A crew member who remains injured or is dead at the end of the battle is penalized and will receive 50% less experience towards the increase of his training level than he would have otherwise received. By using a small first aid kit or a large first aid kit to heal the crew member will avoid this penalty, unless they are injured again before the end of the battle. So I do recommend that you carry either the small or large first aid kit. I recommend the large first aid kit for two reasons. The first reason is you get 15% less chance of being injured. Second of all, if you have 2 or 3 crew members injured, that large first aid kit allows you to heal them all up at one time. Now, once you use that large first aid kit, it's gone, just like the small first aid kit. Now, the small first aid kit only allows you to heal one of your crew members at a time. Okay, next we're going to continue injury and death penalty. Now, additionally, if you have a crew member who is knocked out or killed during the course of battle, there's a penalty to the performance of the vehicle characteristics. Now, the crew member who is knocked out, their major qualification training level actually goes to 0 in the game mechanics calculation for that crew to that related vehicle performance. Now, if you have, such as the commander, who might be playing multiple roles, like the gunner or the gunner and the loader, as long as the commander, all 3 of those major qualification training levels now go down to 0, so that affects the performance of the vehicle. Next, we're going to be going over the 5 major qualifications in the injury and death penalties. Commander, knocked out, removes the mentor skill bonus, if any, given to all the crew members, and reduces the vehicle's view range. Gunner, knocked out, reduces the aiming speed and increases disposition. Turret traverse speed will also decrease. If the gunner is in the process of zeroing in on a target at the moment the gunner's death, the process might start over again. Driver, knocked out, reduces the top speed, traverse speed, and acceleration of the vehicle. Radio operator, knocked out, reduces the radio range. Loader, knocked out, decreases the loading speed. If a shell was being loaded at the moment of the loader's death, the process might start over again. Next, we're talking about ranks. As your crew increases in training level, they will be awarded a higher rank. For every 50% in a role, skill, or perk, they're awarded a new rank. If retraining a crew member and they lose some of the compliance, he will not be demoted in rank. As there are separate ranks for each nation, a crew member rank also depends on his role. Now, the loaders and the radio operators start off at the lowest rank and may only advance to the 3rd highest rank available. Drivers and gunners start out at the 1 rank higher and may advance to the 2nd highest rank. Commanders start out 2 ranks higher and may advance to the highest rank. And down below you can see the country's highest rank. Okay guys, we have finally finished wrapping up the cruise, and I'm glad we're done. There's a lot of information that was out there about the cruise, and the most important thing is, I hope what you got out of it is the most important part of a tank is the crew. The better the crew, the better the tank will perform. Doesn't matter what kind of mods you have, what kind of modules you have, and what kind of consumables you have. The better the crew, the better the tank. I hope you got that out of these episodes. So, our next episode, we're going to be talking about consumables, and hopefully I'll be going over what is good for pug matches, what's good for tournaments, what's good for clan wars, and what's good for each different type of tanks. So, if y'all can do me one favor, save some tanks on the battlefield for me. Y'all have a good day.